We here. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back. It's been about a month, but we back. I'm your host, Aflo My Hero, here for another edition of Unlimited Ammo. And I'm gonna just hop right in. I know on Unlimited Ammo we really focused our content over here towards the esports and the esports community, but today and I mentioned this before in one of the last episodes. I talked about the fighting game community, and we're going to kick off this episode of Unlimited Ammo talking about the fighting game community and just how we're in a sort of climate right now that's really it's you can either get down or lay down right now, and I don't mean that in a violent way. I mean that in just a literal human way. It's either you are for human equality or you're not. And there's a game called Skullgirls that's really been making a comeback, so to say, on the esports platforms. And one of the leaders of that movement has been Mike Z. Mike Z, of course, is a popular fighting game community FGC player. He's played in Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat X, Injustice, and so forth and so forth. And I'm going to put the video in right here. But Mike Z said something that was very inappropriate when it came to Black Lives Matter and honoring the memory of George Floyd, rest in peace. So I'm gonna put this right here, and then I'm gonna holler back at y'all.
Or PVDC.
She's gonna die, yeah.
That's suffocating, is what that was.
And still,
Suffocating.
still.
Would it be fair to say that you can't breathe?
Yeah.
All right, Gelato. You got a chance now.
Okay, so what Mike Z said was completely inappropriate. This is not the climate to do it. Of course, he made some apologies stating how sorry he was, how much he loves Black lives, and how he has a lot of black friends. But that's not the point, because it seems that you don't get the actions of your words. And I'm not disappointed in Mike Z because I expected it from him. The FGC is notorious for having racist commentators, racist players. That's not unusual. But what was unusual to me was response by his good friend Sonic Fox. Sonic Fox, of course, just joined the Skullgirls movement. He was excited to be a part of that team. And what Sonic Fox said, it was really just disappointing, because if you guys are familiar with Sonic Fox did a big when he won Esports Player of the Year a few years ago. He did a big speech talking about he's a black queer furry and how he's here to stay and how he's breaking boundaries. And one of the things I really liked about Sonic Fox was how he said, I am a black man, and I really just resonated with that. Like, whoa, he is not afraid to say who he is. But with the Mike Z situation, he gave some half-hearted apology saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a non-binary," which is cool. I have no problem with that. I'm a non-binary queer, and it seems like he edited out the black portion of who he is as a person. And if you know Sonic Fox, you automatically know that is a black man. And for him to be in the top tier of his profession and to totally dismiss what he stood for just a few years ago, it's really discouraging. And it goes to show how just not power, but how, I don't want to call it money or power, or just how like relationships change people for the worse or for the better. So in conclusion with that, yeah, we don't mess with Skullgirls, we don't mess with Mike Z, and we don't mess with Sonic Fox. But moving on to more fighting game news. Of course, right now is a very turbulent time for people, especially the LGBTQIA community. And if you don't know, we're in Pride Month, so shout out to all our LGBTQIA listeners, subscribers. Much love to y'all. But there is a Street Fighter tournament, and it's called Transitional Combat. You can look more for that later. I will have the link in the comment. I will have the link in the description for y'all. But it's a Street Fighter 5 tournament. All proceeds will go towards Trans Lifeline, and it's being organized by the esports writer Amanda. I forget her last name, but yeah, I would definitely link it into the comments. But moving on, Valorant. So if you've been following esports, you know we've been talking. If you've been following Unlimited Ammo, you know we've been talking about Valorant. Well, Valorant is here. It officially launched. I want to say last week, and you know this is of course there's going to be a Valorant league, so that's not an issue. But what is an issue to me is 2 players who were caught cheating in Counter-Strike Pro will be getting another chance. AZK and Brax, and they were banned from CS:GO Counter-Strike a few years ago in 2005 when their whole team was banned. I believe it was called Rubber Band. I could be wrong, but please. So yeah, they were banned, but now they're getting a second chance with Valorant. I will say this is going to be interesting to see how the community accepts them, how they will be viewed as competitors. And it's just like when you do something as unethical as throw a game for proceeds for money, it's like how can other teams trust you? So it's going to be very interesting to see what teams pick them up, who else is on that squad, how are they going to operate. But more Valorant news. Of course, it's out. I played a few games. I love it. So I'm gonna just break down. It's a lot like Valorant is not Overwatch. It leans more towards the Counter-Strike than Overwatch. It's more tactical. It's more strategy. And so I'm gonna just break down some of the tiers, some of the characters that I played. So of course I got the Goddess tier. I have Sage. A tier is Cypher, Brimstone, Breach, Sova. B tier is Raze. And the C tier is Phoenix, Viper, Jet, and Omen. And I still need to play Reyna. Hopefully I will get to play her soon. But that's I'm really excited to see what they do with Valorant, especially in this current pandemic, and how they will be setting up remote play. But enough of that. Let's get to the main event. Of course, you know why we are here. The reason why I started Unlimited Ammo was to talk about the 2K League. So let's just jump right in. I can't wait anymore. So we had 4 games tonight as always. We had Magic Gaming versus Knicks Gaming, Mavs Gaming versus Pistons GT, Hawks Talent GC versus Nets GC, T-Wolves Gaming versus Grizz Gaming. And before I get into the games, I just want to give a shout out to Kenny Got Work, who it was the Player of the Month, and Brooklyn's own Crouch, who was the Rookie of the Week, or Rookie of the Month, Rookie of the Week, one of the two. And I said this earlier, I said this in our first episode, that Kenny Got Work is the MVP of the league. Of course, Raptors Gaming is undefeated on the season. They have not lost a single game yet, and it doesn't seem to look like they will be losing anytime soon, just looking at their schedule. So yeah, it wasn't surprising. What did surprise me was the production, not the production, was Crouch getting rookie of the week, just because I wasn't expecting it. I thought they would have gave it to Shea from the Tigers or one of the Hornets rookies, but I understand he was balling out for Brooklyn, and he did the same tonight. So let's just talk about the first game. First game tonight was... Oh, hold up. First game tonight was Mavs GC versus Pistons GT. First game went to Mavs GC. Sherms was balling. He had 40 points, 7 assists. I will say watching this game, it just seemed that the Pistons came out slow and they weren't really there. It felt like they were in. It's like they were in a spar. The Mavs were in a sparring match with a person of lower weight class, and Pistons GT just could not get up to snuff. They could not muster it. And game 2 of that game was Mavs GT 69, Pistons GT 62, Pistons GT 59. Sherm had 28 points. Dimes had 21 points. Mavs wins the game. Mavs won the series. They move on to 6-2 on the year, so that's always dope. That is always dope. Next series was Magic Gaming versus Knicks Gaming. This was actually a series I was looking forward to. I wanted to see the Knicks. I wanted to see the Magic. So just seeing this again. So round 1 went to Knicks Gaming, and they put a pounding on the Magic. It was 85-48. Chris Pesos had 41. Malik added 18. Gardro added 11 points and 13 rebounds. And I will say Malik is the shining star for Knicks Gaming. He was automatic throughout the field throughout this entire series. It was not surprising for me that they won the first game. They were rolling on all cylinders. Magic Gaming just could not contain them. Their defense wasn't there. I was really disappointed in them. Round 2, of course, went to Magic Gaming, 65-60. It was a good game. It was a little bit much of the same. Magic really just came up, and the final game was 54-76. Knicks Gaming. Malik had 27 points. Malik refused to lose in this game. Malik put the team on his back, and he really carried them the distance. So yeah, that's not surprising to me. Next game was Hawks Talent versus Next Gaming Crew. I always wanted to see the Hawks Talent. They have a decent squad. I wanted to see how they would do. And they did not disappoint, but I was disappointed in them because they lost the series to Next Gaming Crew. First game they lost 70-66, which isn't surprising. Crouch was going crazy, and next game was 73-49. So it seems like the Hawks have they still have a few kinks to work out. Hopefully they get it worked out in the next few days before the tip-off. Not the tip-off. I think it is the tip-off. The tip-off tournament next week. So, yeah. And next up was... and the last series of the night was T-Wolves Gaming, the defending champs versus Grizz Gaming. This was something that I've loved this series. First game, T-Wolves Gaming knocked the brakes off of Grizz Gaming, 94-55. Bear the Beast had 34, 8 assists. One Big Saint had 29 points. I Feast had 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. So that's a triple-double. Round 2 actually went to Grizz Gaming. Vandy had 32 points. Goofy added a double-double with 10 points, 16 assists. And the final game went 69-65, Grizz Gaming. Goofy had 12 points, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 blocks. Authentic African had 17 points, 2 assists, 7 steals. Vandy had 28 points. And one thing I will say in the last 2 games of that series, it felt that the Wolves Gaming they were leaning on Bear the Beast too much. Of course, he was the reigning Rookie of the Year, so I get that. But when your offense runs through one person and he's not producing in the way he should, and J Money wasn't hitting, and their offense just wasn't there, it was good, but it just wasn't. It wasn't up to par. And Grizz Gaming needed this win. Of course, they have won 4 straight games, so now they are heading towards the 500 mark. But yeah, no, that is about it. I just want to appreciate you if you have been rocking with us. If you have been listening to 26 and Glencoe, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Flow My Hero. Follow Metro Meta at Metro Meta 26. Follow the brand at 26 in Glencoe on all social media platforms. And until next time, peace.
All right, everybody. Y'all know who it is, Metro Meta and
At One Marcus Flowers.
And we'd like to thank you for watching and listening to our content. We'd like to thank you even more if you leave a like, a comment,
Subscribe. Definitely subscribe. We need that. Subscribe. Subscription.
and don't forget to share with all your friends and tell us how you feel.
And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you got it from 26 and Glencoe Media Network.
Keep it real.